Hello, everyone. Welcome to Study's webinar this week. We're glad you could come and join us today. I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. If you can you go to the chat feature and just acknowledge, just say where you're at and where you're from. And I think last time we asked what the weather was like, but maybe today we'll ask what you had for breakfast. We just like to make sure everyone's there. We're going to be asking a few questions during the webinar today, and we'll do it in the chat feature. Just make sure you change your chat feature from panelist, all panelists to all panelists and attendees. That way, everyone that is here today will be able to see your comments as we're speaking with each other. Yeah, I didn't have time for breakfast this morning either. So I'm going to have a big lunch. That's what I'm planning on doing. So again, thank you for coming today. We're very happy that you guys are here today with us, and hope that what we talk about will be helpful and enlightening to your district and to you and what you're doing. Kind of get going. We just want to kind of introduce ourselves a little bit. My name is Sam Brand. I'm over sales and marketing. I believe we have Kelly Stone. Kelly, are you on? You want to say hello to the group?
Hello, everyone. I see in the participants that there are a lot of my friends are tuning in. Nice to see all of you.
Good, thank you. Jessica, I think you may be on too. Jess, if you're on, do you want to say hello as well?
Yeah, hello. Glad everyone's here.
Thank you. Jess, our Chief Education Officer, she puts all this and makes it all look pretty and wonderful. And then Jeff Smith, our CEO. Jeff, are you there as well?
I am, and I've had a second breakfast already, so I'm good.
Jeff, our resident hobbit.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say our Lord of the Rings is holding true here. So to kind of get going, I just have a couple questions for you. If you guys can write in your chat, just tell me the value that you feel professional development training is for teachers and staff. There's no right answer, honestly. I just kind of want to know what your opinion is regarding the value of training and professional development for you, for staff, for your district. That would be very helpful. There's a lot of, as you're answering that question, there's a lot of research that I've done this past week regarding this, and it's a very highly impactful to teachers and to staff. And so I just was kind of wanting to know what you guys think of in terms of the value of training and professional development. There is so much change. In fact, that's one of the things that I actually don't talk about that in this, but it was one of the research items that I came across was, as technology is changing, ever changing so quickly, it's really imperative that teachers have an understanding of what the technology is, what's out there, what students are seeing, what they're participating in. And so, yeah, keeping up with current situations in terms of technology, but also and make sure that student behavior and other things are part of that. You know, make sure that they achieve their goals that you have for them. Sean, you said, I think professional development is valuable when there is follow-up and support as it pertains to implementation. I totally agree. It is very, very valuable for that. Implementation process is something that really has to be done correctly. And as I've talked to lots of districts in the last while about this, it's very neat to see what they're doing and how they're implementing these changes. So the other question is what's the value to school districts? We understand that it's valuable for teachers to keep in touch with the current situations, understand behaviors, help kids, but what's the value for the school district for their teachers and staff to be trained, to have professional development for them? Another question is there value to the school district, right? And I think everyone can answer that and say, yes, of course there is value to that. Highly qualified staff and is very important. And so we're going to actually talk a little bit about that, about how it's viewed by the community. We'll talk a little bit about that as we go further. We must invest in our staff in order to provide optimal educational experiences for our students. Absolutely, Rhonda, that is 100% true. And we'll talk a little bit about this and why that's important, right? And so it's a great thing to start talking about. Why moving this online is kind of a cool thing. So I'm gonna kind of start with a little story. I feel bad. It's about me, and I really kind of feel bad about it, but it actually does pertain to what we're talking about. I decided in 2000 that I was finishing up here at Utah State University with my undergraduate, and I was going to be a financial planner. And I decided to go into graduate school. And so I applied to Kansas State University for their graduate program in financial planning. It was a great program. I really enjoyed it. But really the thing I want to get to is just that it was a multidisciplinary program. It was an online program that was a collaboration between Nebraska-Lincoln, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Iowa State, and University of Missouri. So I actually took courses from each of those universities in order to get my actual diploma from Kansas State University. And it was really neat to see and experience that. Even, it's like 20 years ago. I feel so old when I talk about it, but even that long ago, the ability for all these different schools to be able to reach and teach me what I needed to learn at the time was really neat. It was really a great experience. It was difficult, but it was a very great experience for me. And there was no other way I could get that kind of learning without being online. And so that was kind of the point, that the online system, as it's developed and gotten better over the years, because back then it was pretty difficult, but it's gotten so much better today that there's a lot of ability for people to do things they weren't normally able to do. And so why professional development matters? Let me see, the education, the research has shown that teaching quality and school leadership are the most important factors in raising student achievement. So as teachers receive better quality instruction and understanding and skills, you will increase the effectiveness of student achievement. For teachers, staff, and district leaders to be effective as possible, they continually expand their knowledge by receiving professional development and training and the skills to implement the best educational experience possible. Number two, educators learn to help students learn at the highest level. So it's neat that educators have to learn to help to learn how to help students learn. It's a really great concept, and because it does, as someone said earlier, as you keep up to date with the newest things that are going on, either behavior management or classroom management, or those new technologies that are out there, as you are abreast of those new things, those new trends, it helps you learn how to help students learn even better. Professional development is the only strategy school districts have to strengthen educators' performance levels on the job and in the classroom. And so as educators get more and more professional development, they get more training, their performance increases, right? Their levels of performance, their reviews get better, and at the end of the day, what matters is that they are more likely to have student achievement with really good professional development training programs that the district has implemented for them. So professional development, there's lots of parts of professional development. We have experience, we have skills, we have abilities, there's different learning things, advanced training. Teaching, in my mind, is a learned skill. It takes continual learning, evolving, and experience to be proficient at being a teacher in today's world. Students are smarter than they ever have been in the past. They have so much information bombarding them day in and day out that teachers have to compete with that, right? You have to compete with cell phones, compete with social media. There's lots to compete with because of this. So teachers need every every tool that they can find to help them increase and improve classroom performance and results, right? And so in my mind, these things, these things help them learn the skill and to be an effective teacher, right? That's what professional development does. It gives you those skills that are necessary to be really great at what your job is. So some national data that we've learned about is nearly 1/3 of U.S. teachers are at high risk of severe illness due to age. And we as we talk further we understand that teachers, the reason why school districts shut down, as you all know, is that the likelihood of spreading the COVID-19 is very great when there's really large groups together. So we have to be concerned about teachers. If there's 1/3 of the teachers that are 50 years old plus, and the CDC says that that's the high risk group, then we have to be concerned about that, right? We have to make sure that we're doing what we can to protect them. Studies data shows we've done this surveys for the last Jeff, you could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe the last 15 years or so.
15 or 20.
15, 20 years, and gathered at least that much, 15,000 survey results. And it's shown that 8 out of 10 substitute teachers in the United States are 50 years or older, right? And they're in that higher risk to severe, to getting a severe illness. So it's something to be aware of, right? The CDC asked that they have new guidelines for opening up school districts, and I'm not going to go over that stuff, but it's just something to be aware of, right? This is one reason why moving things online is very helpful at this time because of this. But there's other reasons. This is not the only one. This is just one of them that I want to, we want to be part of the solution, and moving professional development online is part of this solution to help with this. So what are some of the benefits? Some of the benefits of learning online is that it actually takes less time to learn online than it does to do it in face-to-face, right? You're 40 to 60% less employee time than traditional learning in the classroom setting. You're able to it's less time. It's 46% less time that employees have to put in when they could do it at home, when they could do it at the convenience of their computer or their office at home, right? The increased attention rates, right? This is one thing I noticed when I was in school doing this, that I was able to learn and retain quite a bit of information because I was there face to face. I was just doing it myself. It was really easy for me to remember things that I was doing because of that. The comparison is face-to-face interactions. It's only 8 to 10% of retention rates, right? So online does increase your retention rates. It's a great thing for people who may not have a great idea and having a great experience in the classroom too. So you are able to learn 5 times more material without increasing any time spent in the classroom. Like you're able to increase that time that you have in making it effective in online when you can learn 5 times as much material in such a short period of time. And so like one of our sub skills training program, it's a 10-hour course. We cover a lot of material in it, and people are able to get through that really, really quickly because the way it's set up, because it's online, and they can retain that information much, much easier. So this is, I know you are school districts and not so much concerned about increasing revenue, but the statistics show that companies have increased revenue when they apply e-learning to their staff, to their employees, right, by 42%. So there's a savings there, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that people are more likely to stay in their job when they are receiving development, when they're receiving professional development training courses. The cost of having to buy employees, many of you know that there's a huge cost to replacing people. And so if you didn't have to replace those people, it actually helps the bottom line of your revenues. We also find that when you're doing it online, you're more productive. For every dollar invested on online training results in $30 in productivity. So you're just more effective at home. So one of the, I don't have it on here, but one of the questions is how many of you are maybe currently today or have been working from home? And then of those who are, do you find yourself more productive when you're at home? That's actually a question I'm kind of interested to know about. Shirley, you say that you agree that you're more effective, you're more productive at home. Is that what I understand? I really like to know kind of where you think you're more productive. 3 days on site, 2 at home, less disruptions at home, correct. 2 at home, alternate with site, about the same amount of effectiveness, more productive. And the research has shown that people are more productive and effective working from home. And so it's the same, so you can imagine why e-learning would follow the same trend, right? You're online, you don't have the interruptions. Sean, you can multitask more, value the time you have saving from your commute. Exactly, like you're able to commit more time and effort into the job when you don't have to spend all that time driving. Definitely it's actually a really good thing there. So one of the other things is doing online courses also helps increase employee engagement by 18%. And that's a really important thing where you're feeling like you're a part of the company more, because if you could go home, let's say you are going to work every day, but you can go home and do your professional development at home on the computer, it just allows you to have a freedom and flexibility, right? So like 41% of Fortune 500 companies already do some form of technology, using some form of technology to train their employees. And 72% of organizations believe that e-learning helps them increase their competitive edge by giving them opportunity to keep up with changes. It is a very important thing. It's been really helpful. I know for the last couple of months, I've been working from home, and recently I'm kind of back at the office. And it was very effective there. It was very helpful. I could really concentrate on getting stuff done. And luckily I have an office now, and I'm able to kind of seclude myself and work very similar like I was before. Kishan, you said there are some tasks that I feel need to be completed in the office for my position and for team building. There absolutely is a time and place for that. If you're a supervisor and you have people that you're over, and many of you do, there is a time and place to be there, involved with them one-on-one, definitely, for sure. Onlining since 2000. So I got my degree in 2005 is when I finished, but I started in 2001. It's been up. It's a growth. The growth from 2000 to 2020 is 900%, and that has nothing to do with COVID-19. That's just the stats of what was happening, what's been happening with e-learning. So a lot is moving toward that way, and to really help gear organizations, companies to be able to know that they can get the effective online training done for their employees. Less cost increases revenue, right? So revenue generated per employee is 26% higher for companies that offer online training using technology, right? Your revenue, so again, I know school districts don't necessarily have that revenue like a normal company does, but the effectiveness of being able to do it online allows for less cost overall for the organization. And that's a really important thing, which helps to increase and not waste money that could be, that's used for other things. The other thing too, it does, because of not having to drive anywhere, it does reduce cost and lower your CO2 output, right? There's some real benefits of being working from home, and doing online training kind of helps the environment as well. So it's really kind of interesting. These are the sources for those. But one of the things I want to talk about are some of the platforms that could be used, right, for your e-learning, for your professional development. So really quickly, if you don't mind, what kind of platform do you guys use right now for your online training, or not even just online, but just for your professional development? If that's face-to-face, please say that. If it's a mixture of them, let us know what it is you're doing. Have a kind of an idea. I know there's lots of other platforms out there. I know there's lots of platforms out there. I wasn't trying to get over all of them or share all of them with you. I was just trying to give some kind of idea of what's available in the marketplace. Microsoft Teams and Nearpod. Yep, that's a great one. So Google is another. I should have put Google on there too. Google is another one. Safe Schools, in-house continuing education, Power School, Zoom. Yep, and we love Zoom. Zoom has been great. Power School, for my kids here in Cache Valley, Cache County School District, they have Power School, so I'm very familiar with that as well. 321 Insights has been newly added. Awesome. So these are great tools, and I'm sure you're recognizing that these tools can help you do the things that you don't necessarily want to do yourself, or they do things better than what you could potentially produce yourself. So there's some real benefit for that. There's different methods of teaching, all right, for learning online. And I don't really want to go into all those different methods. There's lots of methods for them. There's video classrooms, virtual classrooms, there's online discussions. There's self-paced learning programs. There's interactive e-lessons, instructor-led lessons, electronic simulations, mobile, and there's so many different methodologies and ways to learn online. What the real point here is that as a district, and for what you need to do is really identify the things that will help your students learn the best. And so teaching the teachers what those are really important, right? The best way that you can interact with them. There's a lot of mixed teaching now, where you're in the classroom, yet you still have lessons online that students need to do homework on, right? Or you pull out a laptop in school and you do it then, right?
Sam?
Yeah.
Research has shown that if a teacher has fewer students one year than another year, we always say that classroom size is an indicator of quality of education. Smaller classrooms learn better. Well, that's only true if the teacher changes the way they teach. If they're teaching the same way that they would a large group to a smaller group, the smaller group will be similar to the large group. So in professional development, if we take just what we've done in person and move it to online, it won't have the impact as implementing some of these new methods to take advantage of the online learning. And so it's just not moving it from in-person to online where change can happen, but it's actually be using different methods like you're talking about here.
So if a teacher is used to, if a class is used to learning like through video, or they're used to learning with like a multiple choice online test, then if they are continue that, like let's say for now, teachers aren't even in the classroom anymore, but if the students were used to doing that before COVID-19 happened, they're more likely to be successful or continue to be successful because they continue that same thing. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm saying that if a teacher's teaching 40 students and the only way they can do it is do a PowerPoint and a lecture type thing because they can't have the interaction, and then the next year they have 20 students, well, if they're still using PowerPoint, if they're still using the same method that they use to teach the 40, the 20 will learn just like the 40. But if they take advantage of a fewer in the classroom and be able to change their style and have a lot more one-on-one, then the learning increases. So whatever was working you had to do with a large group, then you do it with a smaller group. If you don't change, it doesn't change. So what I'm saying is if we're just taking, well, this is how we did it live and in person, and we're going to move that to online, that might not be as effective as taking advantage of what the online, because there is no question about it. The teaching is face to face. We're face to face with students, and so that's a great way to learn, a great way to teach. And professional development, we love our professional development face to face. We're in a group and we're training substitutes or teachers or whoever because of the interaction. And there's a lot of things that are picked up that way. So if we just take the way we would do it in person and move it to online, we miss out on the advantages of the online. And so we would need to change completely what we're doing online really to either equal the in-person or even increase. And most likely, the intent is to increase not only the ease of professional development, but the effectiveness. So that is all.
Thank you very much. So I got another question that kind of brings it to mind then. What new technologies, we talked about some of the things that you guys are doing for professional development, but what are new technologies that teachers are using in the classroom that maybe they weren't using before COVID-19? Are there new ones that have been implemented, new strategies, new things? That'd be interesting to kind of know that. Just give me maybe an idea of what some of those new methods or technologies are that teachers are using that have still led to student learning. Are there new technologies that you have been using or that they have been using? Google Classroom, choice boards, project-based learning. So there are, and like Google's been one of those that's been kind of behind that for quite a few years and bringing kids to the classroom, the Google Classroom, right? It's been happening. And for that matter, it's been happening for a very long time with lots of different companies. But there are lots of new ways. So one of the ways I was thinking is like augmented reality and virtual reality, right? It doesn't really, we have virtual classroom in there. So there are some new ways to teach students to understand things when there's different ways they can look at it and understand what's being taught to them. So Steady's method, so we have a method for teaching online. It's a course we offer. It's actually free right now. If you go to that link down there, and these will be posted, I think they actually are posted right now on our website. If you go to that link, if you go to the PowerPoint online, or just go into look for products, look for the teaching online, this is a free course that teaches teachers who maybe already have some experience online or maybe they don't, but it's some way to help them create a learning environment for the students to be able to teach and engage with them. It's a free course. Within the first month, Jess, you could probably correct me, we've had nearly 3,000 participants.
Yep, over that, yep.
Over 3,000. And this just came out about a month ago. So it's been very effective for teachers. We've had a lot of positive feedback actually about this. So there are some methodologies, there are lots of methodologies for doing online. This is just a simple a way that gives a lot of great information on how you can create an online program for your students. Jess, do you want to add anything to that?
No, that you covered it really well. We highly recommend checking it out or sending your substitute teachers in case you use them to fill in for permanent teachers online or permanent teachers who are looking to keep, the intent is to increase engagement through these online learning strategies. So it's about a 2-hour course. That's a great introduction to teaching online.
Thank you. So it's been a great accomplishment. Jessica's been a huge part of that, and Tanya, our instructional designer and graphic designer, kind of everything for us. She helped develop this training course. So it's been our teaching course. It's been really great. So I highly recommend you guys look at that if you're looking for something to help your teachers with. Some of the resources, I just put a couple of different online learning studies that talk about the value of doing online learning and professional development. Is very kind of informative. in my mind. We just want to thank you again, and hope if there's any questions, you can reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk to you about it. But really, just in terms of moving things online, there is a lot of benefit right now, especially with kind of the environment we're in. But there are a lot of positive things that could come out of it, where people can spend less time but get more stuff done during that time as doing professional development online. So please reach out to us if you have any questions. We're always here to help you, and I hope that this has been beneficial to you. I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you guys next week, next Thursday, and see you later. Thanks.